Previously on Two Up and Overloaded. We arrived in Kuching, Sarawak in East Malaysia on the island of Borneo. Known for its rich cultures and strong indigenous heritages, we got an extra special glimpse of the Dayak people of Borneo during Sarawak Day festivities.
After our indigenous people wearing the headdress with the skulls of the old hornbill birds, went to a different horned headdress.
Yeah, the mall had been filled with these incredible outfits that people were wearing for their traditional tribes of Borneo. And then of course there were all these other outfits.
Yeah.
That were completely different.
It's like we walked on the movie set of a low-budget sci-fi movie. I've never been to Comic-Con, and here we are.
Yeah, but I always wanted
to.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to Comic-Con and see all of that stuff.
For sure. The amount of time that we spent was perfect. It was going into a world that I didn't understand, but it definitely had a different vibe opposed to the other end of the mall.
Yes.
There were swords in places of staves and blow darts.
Let's not waste any more time and get straight to the questions.
We had a pretty spectacular day at the mall, but we at some point had to get down to brass tacks, if you will.
Yes, and we had business. So we wanted to rent a motorcycle in Kuching.
So we wanted to do a really big loop around northern Borneo on a capable motorcycle. And by capable, I mean not a Bajaj Pulsar 220.
Something that could carry all of our weight and our stuff, go long distance, but be really comfortable for us as well.
So what could it be?
We were concerned that for a whole month, something with all of those qualities we wouldn't be able to find, especially in our price range.
Yeah.
And we were thinking that we might even have to settle for a scooter.
We saw some pretty cool scooters parked all around Kuching. Don't give it a poopy face. Scooters are cool. Scooters are cool. You know, but we could afford a scooter, right? And we'll just scoot around. Two Up and Dorks. We'll just change our name to Dorking Around on a Scooter.
Tim's about to go on a test ride for a possible motorcycle that we will be taking throughout East Malaysia and Brunei.
What about this? This is a story of how we found the perfect motorcycle for a month-long ride around East Malaysia. Hey everyone, nice to have you here. We are Tim
and Marissa No Tear.
I ride in the front
and I'm in the rear.
We travel the world and we pack too much gear.
Oh, all the places we'll go.
Through rain and through sleet and through mud and through snow.
Oh, all the things we'll see.
We've been to a country or two
or three. Oh, all the fun we've had.
You have you along would make us real glad.
So give us a like and
hit subscribe to join us along our epic ride.
The city of Kuching is the government seat and economic center of the state of Sarawak, the largest state of Malaysia's 13 states.
And it's got a huge, beautiful riverwalk area with the government building's beautiful. The flag is just this giant thing blown in the wind.
Right.
Super pretty. the fact that it is named after cats.
I know. Kuching means cat
Yeah.
in Malay.
And there's cats everywhere. There's little garbage cans or cats. They have cat statues all around about. There's cats on hats and cats on bats. And there's no rats, but the city of cats.
Thank you, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Oh, when we were inside the mall, different mall, because again, I like malls.
We like malls.
And TVS is a local news station that was like, did this little mock TV interview thing that people were doing. They wanted us to do it. I wanted to do it too.
Assalamualaikum, greetings and salam sarawak maju makmur. I am Marissa Notier,
And I am Tim Notier.
and we are now at Plaza Merdeka Kuching.
This digital exposition has been held in all 12 divisions of Sarawak, beginning with Laos in the northern region on May 26, 2023.
And
We rocked it.
You nailed it. I was,
I would say we both nailed it.
all right.
I am Marissa Notier,
And I am Tim Notier.
and we're reporting from Kuching.
TBS
Inspiring your world.
We got a standing, they were already standing to be fair, but we got a standing ovation. We just got an ovation.
What do you want on your cheesecake on a stick? You got yourself just your pure cheesecake, but then you get some sweet corn and mozzarella as a lovely topping. Or some sweet corn and some cheddar, if that's more your boat.
They really like their corn. There was also this little natural history museum right next door, which that's the closest I ever want to get to snakes.
Dead snakes at that.
Yeah.
The dead crocs.
So we took a little ice cream break with Aya, Ibu, their son Timmy.
Awesome name.
But ice cream is a big deal out here in the hot regions of the equatorial tropical world.
This is true.
But their ice cream is
This
different.
is the first time I butted heads with their culture.
So it's kind of like shaved ice put into hot
Soup form.
water.
With like
yeah.
gummies.
Yeah, and then fish cake in some of them. Sometimes the ice cream is put on
White
pieces
bread.
of bread, yes, or sometimes within a bun of bread.
Which is a technical ice cream sandwich, which I think is brilliant. But ice cream on a piece of white bread is weird.
But to each their own.
That was my own that day. I never thought there'd be a day in this life that they'd be like, you want to try ice cream? I'd be like, no.
So check out this mango. It is so big. Look at it compared to my hand. Such a big mango. But this wasn't all about playing tourist. We really needed to get down to business and get a rental motorcycle. Now we weren't going to be getting a motorcycle that day, but we really wanted to see what our options were. And we went to an area that was known to have motorcycle rentals, and it's called Tay Motors.
This is true.
They immediately guided us over to the new KTM dealership that they have there.
Yeah, I mean, we pulled in where they had a bunch of like old beat up bikes and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is our price range. And
Right.
they're like, oh no, but the KTM's over there. And I love KTM,
Yeah,
but
we
like
know and love it.
renting a premium bike name, is going to cost a heck of a lot more money. But we were kindly escorted over there. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm like, we'll go through this process, but I'm sure by the end of the process, it's a lovely motorcycle, but we can't afford it.
But it turned out that this was the best KTM dealership ever.
It was amazing. And Alicia was
Oh, thank you. You are the best.
very, very kind, very high-spirited, very happy.
Yeah.
We wanted something that would have like a rack on the rear so we can put our bag on it. And she made sure that they'd have something set up for us. There's a lot of excitement.
KTM coaching. Woo. We took a little test ride and we fell in love with the KTM 250 Adventure.
Definitely has more kick and like that
Yeah.
suspension was nice.
Yeah, the suspension's really nice.
It was so nice just to be on something with
So
suspension.
nice.
You know, it's still a little stout, you know, because not the KTM 1190 series that we've been
Right.
riding around the world on.
We were
but-
concerned it might be squished, but with only a back bag and a tank bag, we figured
Yeah.
this could be doable.
And it felt like
were
riding
in
a
love.
Cadillac on the clouds.
Yes.
Suspension, you have no idea how nice it is. But we wouldn't be riding home on the bike quite yet. There were still some things we needed to accomplish within Kuching.
Hey everyone, good morning. So today we have another very awesome breakfast, and I'm going to be eating something that I've never eaten before. Stingray. Check it out. So let's see if I like it.
Their bones? No.
I think this is a bone, and then this part is not.
You just eat like this part of the correct. Like this also, yeah.
Oh, there are bones.
The middle is the bone.
It's cooked in a very wonderful sauce. Sweet and spicy. Tastes really, really soft. I like it. But there are bones all over the place. You gotta be careful. So Aya asked us, after seeing all of this incredible stuff at the museum and Sarawak Day and the parade and the dances, if we would like to experience what it was like for him to grow up in the Iban village. And we were like, yes.
Heck yeah.
We are about to go to the
Get
cultural
cultured.
village. This is an area that has built several different longhouses and other traditional structures of the local people of Sarawak.
It's right on like the coast of this beautiful beach area. And then all around this lake are the 7 or 8 different
Longhouses.
long houses, tall houses.
The first thing we did when we got into the cultural village was we took this little walkway, which is a replica of the walkways that a lot of the indigenous people of Borneo would make to cover the swampy lands. Okay, so this is a traditional bridge, and I am going to try to cross it. I think it's going to be a little harder than it looks. Ooh. It's actually, yeah, a little difficult. This is not very sturdy.
A little foreshadowing here, but horizontally, it turned out to be really nice.
Yeah.
They took the same walkways and jetted them into the sky where they lived. And that was
Yes, that was a
little
lot
bit
more
intense.
treacherous.
Yes.
The first house that we came across was the Bidayu Longhouse. And this was a circular sacred ceremonial space where they had different instruments.
They had more of the charred skulls and like wiring nets above where the fireplace was.
Yes, and that's where they would smoke those human skulls that were taken during headhunting and char them black.
They call it head trophy.
Usually you walk through these museums and there's like small little plaques that tell you what it is, but we had, you know, this actual man who
Yes.
lived with all these things as part of his daily life, and so he was showing us what were like the refrigerators back in the day, which are just these
big
big
vases.
So the thing comes out from here.
and the rice comes out because they do that. Even call it tisab. I don't know in their language.
The next house we had gone to was his old stomping grounds, if you will.
Yes, this was the Iban Longhouse, and Aya is from the Iban people.
And we were greeted by, I don't know if they're chieftains, but the head honcho of the house.
Yes.
And yet again, more beautiful attire.
It's the wild dog. We call him Kuli.
So these houses have a section in the front that's kind of like the veranda where it's the public area, everyone can socialize. It's long, obviously, and then along the side you have doors that lead to the little private residences. And these areas are also quite big, and some of them even have second stories to them. So this area here would belong to one family. It's kind of like a partitioned area where one particular family would live within the longhouse, which is shared amongst many families. And it's a pretty generously sized space, I have to say. And they have an upstairs.
It was definitely like a old school condominium, you know?
Yeah!
They had a second floor, but by God, that horizontal bridge that we were like, oh, this is so scary. You know, and now it's like, whoosh. I'm 41, but I felt like I was like 141. my legs were shaking. You know, I was just like, oh my God. We got up there, totally cool and awesome, but then I had to get back down. Just not worth it. I'd be a first floor type dude.
The cookies that you ate yesterday in my house, they make it like this.
They also made little fried things in the houses.
They have idea of supporting It's done. Ready to go.
Before lunchtime, we got to see a special performance of traditional dances at the Cultural Village Theater.
Really cool to just watch. The guy had a blow dart. He invited a foreigner up on stage.
To use the blow dart to see if he
shoot
could
at a
hit a balloon.
And he did.
He did!
Crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I even got on stage to dance.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Gui rose.
R-O-S-E.
So rose cakes. So these are a little bit different from the ones with the very stringy parts. After the dance performance, we went to the Orang-ulu Longhouse, which was my personal favorite because it was so high up and it was so detailed and intricate with their designs and painting. And we were greeted into this longhouse by this beautiful music. And this is the music played on a sape, which is kind of like a guitar, but more like an open-stringed, all harmoniously tuned together guitar.
There was a gentleman playing one that he had rigged up with a pickup and going into an amp. And he let you
you play
This is
the
true.
sape as well, and you already played the guitar and several other stringed instruments.
This is true. This one was tuned to an open, I think, C, and then I found where C was on the high string, and then you just kind of bounce around.
It was beautiful. You did an excellent job.
It was a good first attempt. And then he played again, and then I was like, yeah, that wasn't very good. On reflection, this is how it's supposed
It
to be
was
played.
beautiful.
Thank you, you're very kind. It's up to you.
The final longhouse was the Melanau longhouse.
It's a tall house.
Oh, it's a tall house. So it's not just a longhouse, but it was a tall house because this was the tallest of the houses that were built in Sarawak. This particular one was 40 feet high.
This was the grand finale of the Stairs of Doom.
Yes.
They had built
Yeah, they
a
built
Western
Western
walkway
stairs.
to get up there. But the last one, you could take either the Western stairs or another one of these logs that was cut in an intricate pattern that you could use.
Super ladders.
And I get ahead of myself, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And then I get like a quarter, an eighth of the way up, like 4 steps, and I'm like, bad move, no tear, bad move. We climbed, I survived.
You survived,
I
that's
did.
right.
I refer to it as like a very Mount Everest type experience.
It's pretty much the same.
Same.
Yeah. The reason why the Melanau people would build these longhouses so high up is because they were living on the coast and they were protecting themselves from pirates, apparently.
Yeah. And who wants to climb up those stairs? Nobody. It's not even worth robbing you.
The final 2 structures of the cultural village was the Malay house and the Chinese house. The Malay house was built in the traditional way where the windows would be stretched all the way down to the bottom of the floor so that it could optimize the breezes through the house. It was also on stilts, so they were taking some cues from the indigenous people of the island. But it was very, very breezy. You could see how the design really incorporated the idea of getting the winds flowing through the house.
They had a stairwell.
They had stairs.
Nice. I was like, whoa.
They also had these traditional Southeast Asian type of Mancala games.
Oh yeah.
there. And the Chinese house was based off of a pepper mill. So this was actually built on the ground, not on stilts. And they had inside all the things that they would use in order to process black pepper into white pepper. We want to thank Aya so much for taking us to the cultural village.
Terima kasih.
And thank you for having such wonderful explanations of everything and giving us this experience of delving into the traditions and cultures of Borneo.
We had such an amazing time with you, and our hearts forever go out to your generosity, your hospitality, and your kindness. So after our deep dive into culture, the last couple of days had been pretty serious, minus the cosplay, that was a good little break from reality into a sub-universe. But we are in the city of cats, and
Yes.
there's a very special place near and dear to my heart that quite possibly could be my favorite museum in the entire universe. And it's the spoiler!
But that will all be in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding ding! And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye!
Peace!
And if Patreon is your thing, please check out our Patreon link in the description below. You can join for as little as $1 a month and you get exclusive benefits, including all of our videos coming out a little bit early, ad-free, plus you might be able to get a postcard sent to you.
From random parts in the world.
So check out our Patreon link in the description below and we hope to see you there.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye! They say that in order to use those blow darts, you don't breathe through your mouth, you breathe out of your chest and stomach.
That doesn't make sense.
I think it does. You use that diaphragm.
Oh, so you don't.
So, I mean, you breathe out of your mouth.
You don't
but
put it here.
The pressure is not, yeah, you don't
Just
put
saying.
it on your stomach.
We're not blow dart experts at this point, so I would do more research than this video. But
Yeah.
one of us thinks it's from here.